I knew this was going to be tough. And I just asked him, and I shared it with you all last time. I asked him I didn't ask him obviously, I should have asked him for a prettier game. What was it, 41 turnovers or something like that between the two teams. But the reality is I asked him for more effort plays and more teamwork plays. And I think that's what they gave us. We are missing a lot of pieces, and I never once, hey, this is what I need from you, J. Penn. Okay, I got you, coach. I've never played the position in my entire life. I got you, coach. We're gonna have to play through with foul trouble. Okay, I got you, coach. And I thought this was the most, there's lots of mistakes we still have to address and still have to coach through. But I saw something, a little more fight inside them. I saw, Coach Shannon talked to them before the game about fighting for their character, who they want to be. And I saw an increase in their character. Coach Tasha at one of the timeouts said, that their second wind in real growth is on the other side of hard. So to lean into the adversity, lean into it. And let's get to that other side of hard where the really good special growth happens. And I saw glimpses of that. And, we're obviously a long ways from being the level of team that, that I want us to become. But the reality is that if you don't have fight, if you don't have teamwork, if you don't have a level of toughness, it's really hard to address your mistakes. And so I'm actually really proud of their response today.
Coach, congrats on the win. I want to ask you about, you guys said post-game, you said what's done in the dark is brought to the light. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, I think, people say, oh, they had a big game performance, or what a clutch performance. I don't ever think that's the correct thing. I think that when the bright lights come, it just reveals in the work you've been doing for a long time when no one was watching. You don't earn clutch moments like, Natalie Cho shooting the way she did and playing 39 minutes. You don't all of a sudden show up and make that happen when the big lights go on. She shoots before or after practice every day. She's been working on her fitness every day. And you get to the point where you earn in the dark the big moments that actually everyone gets to see in that.
And also, how important is the energy off the bench? I saw it was really.
Say it one more time.
How important is it to have the support from the energy off the bench?
Yeah. Well, I just told the team in the locker room, I went down and I said, you guys got to blow wind into their sails right now. And I think they got up and started getting the defense chants going. Our strength coach was chanting it up, and then our scout guys started going, and then the whole building changed. And, we challenged everybody that wasn't in a uniform today, like, you have to find a way to give more. It may look different than you want, but you got to give more. You got to find a way. And every day today, I had everybody stand up at film and say what was their effort plays going to look like and what was their teamwork plays going to look like. And that was people that were on the bench too. And I really think that was huge. I think that the kids that were playing that really felt that energy, and I think that was a huge piece.
Coach, obviously with Charisma going out last game and then the preseason injuries that you guys had, do you think there was maybe a change in the mindset of the players coming into this game knowing that they're going to have to play 35, 39 minutes and stay out of foul trouble and all that?
Yeah, they didn't quite get the memo on the stay out of foul trouble part, but I think that, yes, and I think that's a really interesting point. I hope they can learn something from that, because it's easy when you have really dominant, great players like a Charisma Osborne, that it's easy to watch her, and without even trying. It's like, oh, Charisma will go make that play. And I think today they knew that everyone had to be ready to make plays, that it wasn't going to be square on anyone's shoulders. And I think that, I hope that they really let that sink in. That will be a major focus of our film. That when we add Charisma back, we're hoping to get her back this weekend, that I think that let's not lose that. That everybody's capable of making plays, and it actually makes Charisma a much better player. When everyone is a confident threat, and they don't sit around and hope something good happens, they know how to make something happen. And a game like today forced our players to do that. And I hope that that's something that they'll really lodge in their minds, and they'll let that be a point of growth and a jumping off point moving forward.
Hi, Coach. So for the first two games, you guys had to overcome early deficits, and it sort of was a reversal this game. Can you touch on the momentum slowing in the second quarter after your run in the first?
I don't care about that. I'm just really excited. Yes, there's always things to learn from, but you're supposed to ask me about, this is so great that we had such a great start after two slow
Sorry.
finishes. No, I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing.
This is my first.
No, you're doing fine. I'm just giving you a hard time. Don't let me get you off base there. I'm just giving you a hard time. I think the reality is that the basketball's a game of runs. And, one of the things I told them about is that we talk about controlling our response time. And that we want to have next play speed, man. And we're just on the next thing. And so, yes, of course, you don't want to lull anywhere. But our biggest thing was we were going to start strong. We were going to really start with a mindset that we were going to execute our game plan right off the bat. And I thought that was a real turning point when we were able to, I think it was 18-11 at the first quarter. And I thought we were really making the catches. Our game plan was to really keep the ball out of the paint, to make catches for number 20 really hard. And I thought we really did a good job of that in the first quarter. And I think that was a really big deal. We got in some foul trouble and some rotations that were really not very good in that second quarter. But there's going to be runs. But I think it also gives you an opportunity to work on your next play speed and your R. And actually, I complimented J. Penn and Dominique. They, they're going to look back and go, man, I didn't have great turnovers, or my turnover margin wasn't very good. But what I loved about it is that they went right to the next play. And a lot of times when made a really good play, let's say, J. Penn turned it over, then she went back and made a defensive play, then came back and hit a three, and that all goes back to your R, your response. And actually, even though we didn't have a great second quarter, I really liked the way they were trying to respond in their next play speed. And you made a fine question. I'm just giving you a hard time.
That's okay. Thank you.
Coach, can you just talk about Dominique for a second? Just because first career start, played I think it was 31 minutes. Obviously had to have the ball in her hands a lot. She's obviously just seeing her in practice, on the bench, in games is one of the more vocal players on the team.
True, she is one of the more vocal players and hit some huge shots. And she is really committed to working on her three-point shot this entire summer and off season. And, in the midst of that was probably the most tired she's ever been. And, she's really committed to her fitness, growing that. Worked on her skill set of her shot, she was a very inconsistent shooter last year, and she's been really good on that. And you always like it when players really put in the time in the off season and add to their toolbox, and then they do it in the pressurized moments. Isn't that how Coach Wooden used to define competitive greatness, is being able to give your best when your best is needed? And I thought she showed a lot of that today.
Yeah, Coach, sometimes I often forget that Dominique is only a freshman. Can you elaborate just on more just the work that she's put in?
Yeah, I think Dominique, I think that is one of the strengths of our program, is the way that we really intentionally grow our players through player development. It's a very intentional, systematic plan, but you have to have players with the work ethic to execute that plan, because they have to do so much on their own. And Dominique really put in the time. She put in the time, when she was here for our summer access, even when she was at home, she found a gym. And I think we really rely on that. Every offseason, I want you to see, oh man, look at what that player developed. Look at that. LeBron picks one skill every offseason. Kobe used to do the same thing, just one thing he was going to master in his craft of playing basketball. And, we really challenged our players in one or two areas. And, Dominique's a great example of that. She did a great job working on her fitness and a great job working on her three-point shot, the consistency of that. So that's what you want to see from our players. And, that kind of work ethic. We want a championship level process. If that's not a habit, that I learned that a lot from being with USA Basketball. They talk about gold medal habits. They don't talk about gold medal games. They talk about gold medal habits. And that's really what I want for our players, is championship habits. And that's something that not only is going to help lead to a championship, but it's also going to be with them for the rest of their lives.
Speaking of the process, you feel like despite the adversity, injuries, and things that's going on right now, you all have the opportunity to explore different lineups.
Yeah, it's forcing people in playing minutes that maybe they wouldn't be playing otherwise. And so maybe long term, we get to Pac-12 play, we get to mid-January, February, and now we're able to play a different level of depth because of the experience some people are getting right now that maybe they wouldn't be getting if we had a totally healthy team. And so, I'm choosing to look at every day we have preparation meeting opportunity. Sometimes it's not the opportunities that we thought. But when preparation and an opportunity meet, will you be proud of where they're meeting? I ask that to our players all the time. Will you be happy with the preparation and where it's meeting your opportunity level? Because if you're not, the opportunity may not come back the same way again. And so really challenging them to step into that place and to prepare to be ready for their opportunity when their opportunity comes. Anybody else? As usual, thank you guys so much. This was really big for us to respond in this manner, and always appreciate you telling the stories of our young women. Thank you so much. Go Bruins.